Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now we are in the next part. As in the previous week, we have talked about the main 5 functions. Now here our main focus is on the planning. So let's go with this module here about the planning. The main objective is to understand the managerial planning, types of plan and planning process, and we will be able to craft smart goals. That will be the activity in your class for your tutorials. So let's start with the planning. So planning, let's talk a little detail. Planning is the systematic process of making decision about goals and activities the organization will pursue. So process, actually we have to go with that three-step process, and we will discuss in the last, but that is to achieve that goal. For example, I have given you the example of your career plan. You want to become a, let's say, the CEO of the Bank Muscat. Then for this, your first step is to take your proper education and experience, and ultimately achieve that your long-term life goal. Similarly, organization actually plan short-term plan, 1 year or 3-year plan normally for a long term to achieve those goals. For example, Bank Muscat and target that you have to achieve the goal of a growth. Mean how you will grow, you will add one more branch, and accordingly you will move on. So planning is also a process managers use to identify and select the appropriate goals and courses of action of an organization. Now with the planning, you have the strategy. Actually, so strategy is the how to do. Plan is what to do, what you want to do, what you want to achieve. Now if you say simple question about strategy, how you will achieve it, how to do. So strategy is a cluster of related managerial decision and actions to help an organization attain one of its goal. So planning is what to be done, what is going to do. For example, your goal, actually if you see, then you can see the manager and how are they going to complete the task, means your strategy. So both go in hands, means you plan what to do and how to do. So if you understand these things, means you are a good planner. So significance of planning, if you talk about the significance, gives a sense of direction and purpose, encourages managers to participate in the decision making, help actually the coordinate managers for different functions and divisions. If for example someone is a departmental manager, then proper planning will help to grow his departmental and to achieve the departmental goal. For example, Department of Finance need to have a proper planning to achieve that budgeted finance, and to achieve that financial goal at the end of the year. Can be used to control manager and provides unity and continuity. So these are the significance. Now there are some types of plans. If you go, some are long-term plan, the other are short-term plans. If you see, the long-term plans actually are normally 3 or more years, and they are also called strategic plans. And a board or board of governors or the top management team or the top manager actually set such plan for you. For example, they will tell you, we need the growth this year because of the corona, still we are struggling how to grow. Then as a strategy, the junior manager will come up, okay, why not we go for the online grocery selling this year? Why don't we sign an MOU with Amazon to sell our products? Like this could be your operational plan at the lower level, but the senior managers will just guide you how to go further. The short term plans are actually short plans, like I have given you the example of the managers in regard, and they are called tactical plans and functional plans. And if you will see in details, they are a production plan, financial plan, facilities, logistics, marketing plan, and human resource plans. They are normally short term plans you actually do every year at each department actually. So let's continue with another type, and you see these operational plans identify short-term activities to be implemented to implement the long-term or strategic plan. So similarly, you have other planning time, that is called forecasting, attempt to predict the future. It means qualitative and quantitative analysis you can do to predict that how your stocks are moving or how things are moving actually, and your financial manager will do such things in this regard. So let's continue further with the other type of planning, that is called your scenario planning and benchmarking. So in scenario planning or contingency planning and scenario planning, identify alternative courses of action to take when things go wrong. So like you can see the example of cyclone, something is going wrong, so now you need to be reactive in this regard and go for such planning. Scenario planning, a long-term vision of the contingency plan, identify the alternative future scenarios. Let's say our one project is failing, so how to come up with the plan B or the project B in this regard, so that the organization shall keep growing in this regard. We will discuss more in the class. So let's continue further with the scenario planning, a long-term planning, where you will continue with your plans made for your future scenario. Benchmarking, use the external and internal comparison to plan for the future improvements. So adopting best practices you will adopt. For example, if it is the best practices in the industry, that you should hire the technical people who are really fresh for the software development, then you will adopt that particular practice in this regard, and you will benchmark those in this regard. So let's continue further with the goals. If you see, there are like your goal, life goal is to become a top manager or to open a business. Similarly, organizations have the goals, and if you see, there are specific, timely and measurable and challenging and attainable. That is why they are called SMART goals. So if they are not specific, you cannot achieve them. You have to be very specific. For example, you have to be specific whether you want to become a businessman or you want to do a job. Then target your goal and prepare yourself accordingly. Organization, if they decided to develop a new product or to introduce let's say a new grocery line, or let's say a product line, they have to focus on that particular, and they should be measurable. Means they can measure that, okay, for example, I need to open 10 bank accounts in 1 week, then they are measurable actually. If I say 10 bank accounts, but when in 5 years or 10 years, then I cannot predict my sales. So I have to attach a timeline in this regard. So they are attainable. Means you cannot say your staff, okay, I need 10 bank accounts in just 10 minutes. This is not attainable for your staff. You have to based on your previous data, you have to predict properly. Okay, based on previous record, they were able to open the bank account of the clients in 1 month, 10 accounts. Then you can give them, okay, this month you try 11. If you achieve 9 attempts, it's okay, but try for 11. So this is more attainable in this regard. So that is the beauty of the goal, that if you they are measurable, they are targeted, and they are timely, then you can easily achieve them. There are many type of goals. If you see this example, for example, if you see the mission and purpose, top management objectives, senior management objectives, middle management objectives, different. Their goals are quite different, but they put synergy to achieve one larger goal of organizational goal. That could be your profit, or to have a successful organization. If you go, for example, mission and purpose, serve the world as a number one supplier of the recycled food container. That is a very guiding type of goal, but you can see nothing is measurable over here. But ultimately, once you go little down in this hierarchy, so deliver error-free products meeting customer requirement 100% on time. Now you see little timeliness is coming once you are going down the hierarchy in this regard. Manufacturing division will have 100% on time production of error-free production. You see, now they are getting more measurable and more timely, so that these goals can be achieved. But in the top, they were not as clear as you were thinking. So plan. So what we will do at plan: increase error-free production acceptance rate of 16%. Another target is being set that is measurable and more achievable in this regard. So shift supervisor, if you go further in hierarchy, assess the machine's operator skills and train for error-free production. Mean he is worried about whether these machines are working properly and their operators are working properly, and they will further contribute for 16%. And finally 100% on time only production will come, and then they will achieve that particular goal, that 100% your requirement or customer is being achieved, and the main mission will finally achieve in this regard. So if we go for the 3 main steps of the planning, we will discuss more in detail, but the ideally determine the organization's mission and vision, like you have seen that example. then formulate the proper strategy. For example, how you will achieve, what to achieve and how to achieve. That is the basic definition you must know. So implementing the strategy, so allocated resource and responsibility to each person. If, for example, if a software manager needs a proper software and hardware and computers, if you are not providing that particular resource to him or her, this means he cannot achieve or contribute or provide proper service to the whole team. So this is the implementation of strategy. Each and every person will be important. So you determine organization mission and vision, then you formulate the strategy, then you implement strategy by allocating resources. So we will talk more with example, and that's all for this part. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.